right, welcome back to Wooden Sticks. And as always, we are recording from the Aquarius Home Services studio. Kevin Gorg with you. Happy to be back in the Twin Cities. Even though the winter weather has arrived, even though traffic is miserable and it's going to be absolutely butt-ass cold this weekend, I am so happy to be home. 9 days on the road is a long time. Just 4 games on that trip. The club went 2-2. But we get 7 of the next 8 at home, and I'm looking forward to that, working in St. Paul. For our listeners that follow the broadcast on a regular basis, I do have to tell you some really good news. Our beloved coworker and friend and team member on the Wild broadcast, Miss Katie Storm, had a baby, so she won't be on the broadcast here all the way through. Probably, I would guess late January. But it's great news that her and Ben welcomed in a beautiful girl, Sophia. They already have Olivia, who's just short of 2 years old. So they've got a couple of girls now. And congratulations to Katie and Ben Storm on the birth of their second child. We'll have some Audra Martin mixed in here, but I'll be at the desk and also down below doing interviews here for at least the next, I think, 5 out of 7. So that's exciting. A little different way to do the broadcast. And today, Wild fans certainly going to get paid with one of the greatest personalities and one of the true great humans we've ever had to wear the Wild sweater. That's Marcus Foligno. My 20th year on the job, and I'm going to tell you flat out, there aren't many better. A lot like Darby Hendrickson. Great on the ice, incredibly important team member, but off the ice is where they really shine. He's that guy. Just a genuine article, just a sweetheart of a human being. And we're going to celebrate his mother, who we lost back in 2009, Janis Foligno, wife of the brilliant Mike Foligno, who's still, of course, with us, longtime NHLer, and great cause in her honor. She lost her battle with breast cancer 16 years ago, and now we've got the Foligno face-off. Hockey Fights Cancer is involved, the V Foundation, and, of course, Marcus and Nick Foligno of the Wild and Blackhawks involved. We're going to get into all that good stuff today with Marcus Foligno. Talk about the first game in a 4-game set this year where the boys have a little something on the line, and it happened November the 26th. Blackhawks led most of that game. The Wild rallied. Kaprizov got the OT winner, and the next day was Thanksgiving, so Nick Foligno had to wear the Team Marcus T-shirt the entire day at his Thanksgiving celebration with his family, and I know he wasn't very happy about that. So that's the stakes. Every time they play, there has to be a bet paid off. And for you, all the listeners out there that want to get involved, and it's the holidays, and if you have a little extra something, I think it's such a great cause. You got to go to v.org/Foligno Faceoff. v.org/Foligno Faceoff. You pick a team member. You pick Team Marcus or you pick Team Nick. And I hope you pick Team Marcus. All the Wild fans out there, do the right thing. As soon as you make a donation, you have qualified for the opportunity to win a Hockey Fights Cancer exclusive jersey autographed by both of the Foligno brothers. It would be the keepsake of a lifetime. Everybody also qualifies to win both Chicago Blackhawk and Minnesota Wild autograph pucks from the boys. 100% of the donation goes directly to fund research and to fight and eventually cure breast cancer. We've all been touched by that awful disease. So this is your way to give back and maybe have a chance to win something really cool and cheer along throughout the year. You can purchase t-shirts and you can wear the Team Marcus or Team Nick t-shirts at all your gatherings. And then the next matchup for Chicago and Minnesota is in St. Paul, January the 27th. They'll go back to Chicago. If you're a Wild fan and you want to get on the road, mark down St. Patrick's Day as a possible road trip for you. You can do it. It's an easy drive down to Chicago. St. Patrick's Day in Chicago, the river turns green. And you know what? That night at the United Center, maybe the Wild will turn the Chicago fans green with envy as they take another game from the Blackhawks. Put that on your calendar. And then a quick rematch. 1 day off. And then March 19th, the season series concludes in St. Paul when Bedard and the Blackhawks travel to St. Paul. So we're going to talk to Marcus today. We're going to pump up the Foligno face-off. And we'll chat with Marcus here next, and then we'll get on the final segment. We'll get to some of the Minnesota Wild goings on. I've got injury updates from the head coach, John Hines. I've got a schedule update, and all that good stuff on the back end of the show. But right now, let's take a quick break to get ready for the Moose. And I want to thank some of our partners here on the show. Without them, we would not have this podcast. And we'll start with my dear friend, John Schweitz and Minnesota Masonic Charities. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the Minnesota Masonic Charities. When you think about the Masons, I get it. You think about the funny hats, those pancake breakfasts, which are phenomenal. My dear friend John Schweitz and I have chatted about this, and it's so much more than that. They've got the Masonic home over in Bloomington. They've got the hospital for the children over at the U of M. They are the largest fraternal organization in terms of charitable needs in our country, and they deserve a ton of recognition. So thank you, Minnesota Masonic Charities, for all you do and for supporting us over here at Talk North, and a special thanks to my good friend, John Schweitz. Also got to thank my dear friends at Onyx Fish and Maps.
Have you ever driven past a piece of land and wondered who owns that? Or maybe you need to know exactly where a property line runs. That's where Onyx Hunt comes in. And it's not just for hunters. There are folks using Onyx for their jobs every day throughout the country. From farmers and ranchers mapping out their fields, wildland firefighters navigating rough terrain, to construction workers needing to know who owns what property, this app offers something for everyone. If you need the best land ownership maps, aerial imagery, and property boundaries in your pocket, Onyx Hunt is the tool for the job. Try it free for 7 days. Download Onyx Hunt in the app or Google Play Store, or visit onyxmaps.com/hunt to get started.
Mark Rosen and I are both huge fans of the good people at StretchLabs.
Hey, Rosie here for StretchLab, my favorite go-to place on Tuesday mornings. I go to the facility out at Eden Prairie, work with Jason, who works with me for my 50-minute session and really stretches me out. And I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'5", 6'6". I've shrunk a little bit, but Jason knows all the right spots to stretch me out, make me feel a lot better. Hips, your shoulders, whatever might be bugging you, they will analyze it. They will make sure that it's right and it does not affect you in any negative way. So I want you to check them out for yourself. In fact, right now they have an introductory 50-minute stretch plus assessment discounted to $50. Makes a great gift as well. So check them out, Stretch Labs throughout the Twin City area, and tell them Rosie sent you.
And of course, we always want to thank the wonderful people at Lexus of Wayzata and Maplewood. Up next, it's time for the Moose, Marcus Foligno, right here on Wooden Sticks. All right, we're back on Wooden Sticks, recording from the Aquarius Home Services Studio. Really happy to be joined by this guest today. I've been waiting for this guy for many years here on Wooden Sticks. He is the Moose. He is Marcus Foligno. I miss you, brother.
How we doing? Thanks
doing
for having
good.
me.
I got to ask you right off the hop, because I've always wondered this, and I've never thought about asking you when we're at the rink, but we just finished up a 9-day road trip, and I know it's got to be awkward for you, being one of the leaders, the captains, the heart and soul guy of the team. What's it like when you're not with the guys and they're gone for that long?
It's a lot of FOMO. It's a lot of it sucks. This plane sucks. I mean, you just miss being around the guys, and it's weird. You're watching your games at you put the kids down and you're like gearing up for your game, and it's you feel like a fan. So it's just I hate watching them. It sucks when you can't be in the position to control what's going on and be in the fight with the guys, but. That's part of the hockey lifestyle of being injured, unfortunately, and the show must go on without you. And it's times like that where it makes you kind of want to get back sooner. So you do everything in your power to get back with the guys.
And that kind of was my next question. Like, you've got dad duties, husband duties, you're out running around. So you've either got the game on the radio, or even if you're at home with the girls, the game is on somewhere. And I get it. You've got 3 kids. So sometimes you're going to be dealing with other things, but so I guess I'm verifying here that the game is always on.
Yeah. Actually, it's comical because we were downstairs and, it was one of those things where the girls were watching a show and I had to use my phone for the ESPN app or something, right? Just to get the game on, and I'm watching on my phone while the girls are watching the TV, hogging up the TV just to watch it. So whatever I can do to watch what the guys are doing out there, it's it was tough. I mean, in between games, you're almost happy that it's not a game day. You're just excited. You get no matter you're injured, you get like the same game day jitters and the same vibe like you're playing. So, proud of the guys, the way they responded at the end in Seattle to get that 2-2 on the road trip. It's a difficult road trip, and heard the travel wasn't so great too. So that was obviously tough. I heard the plane delays and all that stuff and getting in late just proud of the guys that they were able to get that big win in Seattle.
Well, how good does it feel to be here? The holidays are always kind of a benchmark, Moose, to be about halfway through the grind, and you're looking at the standings, and you can usually get a pretty good idea around Christmas as to where you are, and to see where your group is now compared to where you were in October. It's got to make you feel awfully confident about what lies ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was I think a good word to put October was just frustrating. I think it was just a frustrating start. We expected more out of ourselves, and we didn't get results, and we just didn't get the clarity on the how we had to play, and it showed. And then you snap into it. You just play the game that you love to play and do it with each other, and it goes like it went November for us. I mean, we obviously got great goaltending and things like that from Wally and Gus, and then that spurt, but that was more like us, and proud of the guys, just the way we could respond, right? I think that shows you a lot about the team when, it can go south and keep going south, and you can be in the basement, or you can fight your way out of it and slowly turn the tide. And we did it pretty quick. And I mean, just look at the standings. I know we're up there now, and it says a lot about the way we started and being in the position that we are now. I mean, it's credit to the team that we have, but it's still such a tight race. There's so much parity now in the league, and you get the young teams that are doing decent and hanging in there. And maybe in the previous years they'd be really far off, and you'd see some separation. But it feels like one tough week, and you're right back in that pile, that log jam. And we see Colorado and Dallas ahead of us. We always know the division is the Central Division's a juggernaut, and it's just something that it just goes to show you that we got to keep fighting, keep doing the things that we've been doing. But right now, really proud of the way the guys have been playing for each other, and definitely getting the results now of climbing up the ranks has been good to see.
Anyone that's watched you play, or anyone like me that's lucky enough to know you, knows you hate to miss any games. But do you feel like a situation like this where you're going to miss a couple of weeks, do you feel noticeably better March, April, maybe into the playoffs physically, when maybe there's a little less tread taken off the tire? Because injuries are part of the game, Moose, and you're going to play less than 82 this year. Will that be a little bit of a silver lining later in the year?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that you reserve some mileage, and you're not you're feeling your best at a certain time. You're not as tired going to the playoffs. We obviously have that big break in the Olympic break that we can get some rest there. And, it's from an individual standpoint. I mean, it's been frustrating. You've been dealt with an injury, and you just know that you got to do whatever you can to feel physically in shape and mentally ready. And sometimes when you get those breaks, there's a silver lining to it, right? You get the mental rest of it, where you can come back into the lineup and inject some life and some more energy. And at a time probably when our team needs it the most. We always talk about, that 30 to, 50, 60 game mark is always in the trenches. It's always the dog days of the year. And that's when you kind of see the teams that, know how to persevere and play consistent hockey. And that's when you see the playoff teams come about. So, I'm excited when I do get back in the lineup to be that guy that can inject that energy again and bring us some life and, get us closer to the end of the season where we're feeling really good about ourselves. And like I felt in the Stanley Cup playoffs last year, where you feel good and it's a time to shine, and we got bumps and bruises are little. So right now looking at this as, this is to reserve the energy a little bit and come back ready to rock for the rest of the season and postseason.
Well, in the introduction to today's show, I spoke a little bit about the Foligno face-off, and spoke a little bit about your mom, Janis, who we lost in 2009, and the inspiration for you and your brother, Nick. And this is just such a fabulous cause. And the game in Chicago on the night before Thanksgiving was a nationally televised game, so we got to kind of see it from more of a broad brush perspective. We're going to get to cover the next 3 matchups, but let's first talk about your mom, Janis. I know you and I have had this conversation, but I think our listeners, Marcus, will greatly appreciate it. Tell me about growing up with your mom.
Yeah, she was an amazing lady. I think, when anyone you talk about their mothers are going to say the same thing, but really big definition of the hockey mom. I mean, she's been everywhere and put on a lot of miles in the cars, and then the early wake ups and the late nights, getting to where you had to be, and not only just, we came from a family of 3 other siblings, so it's my 2 older sisters and my brother Nick, and everyone played. Everyone played hockey. Everyone played lacrosse and other sports, and she was always the one to schedule, organize, and make sure you had to get to where you had to go. And with dealing with 4 kids, there was a lot of carpooling from other teammates' dads and mothers, where they had to take you to tournaments, and you had to just suck it up and go and play. And then there's times where she was always there and always checking in and taking you to those tournaments. My dad was coaching, played, and obviously coached too after his playing career shortly after. So it was like he was right back in the being an NHL player again with the crazy schedule they had. So, but at the same time too was a lady that unconditional love no matter what. There's moments in sports and school, and she would let you know that you were the best at no matter what, right? A little bit of an ego boost where my dad would kind of come down on you a little bit and just give you the reality check. But my mom always gave you an honest thing, but she was always your mother, so she was always going to protect you. And she did it to me and all my siblings. And an amazing lady. She always gave things growing up too. She always volunteered and stuff too, which was always something that we recognized that a lot, where you gave to the community that you were in, and you helped people out. Really easy, a person that was easy to talk to, had a great laugh, had a great sense of humor on her. And I think that was the biggest thing that, rubbed off on us kids, is that, you anyone that you meet along the way, you never know who could be a friend, who could help you out. And my mom was really, really nice to everyone, and welcoming and warm. And we get maybe our social, skills from my dad, the way he talks and the way he can speak. But I think that the smile and the sense of humor definitely comes from our mother.
You think she loved hockey, or did she love like obviously your dad, Mike, was a longtime NHLer, and you and Nick have been hockey players from the time you could walk, or was she kind of forced into the game because of all you guys?
You know what I think, but people don't know is, she came from a hockey background herself. I mean, she was a ringette star. She loved it. She played ringette back in her Sudbury. So ringette was her big thing. And, she had an uncle, Eddie Jackman, the great Eddie Jackman, which is my great uncle. So she had some star power before she met my dad, when it came to hockey. So it was, she always loved the game. I think, she would always say she hated the schedule of how chaotic and hectic it is. But no, she was always a big fan of the game. And I mean, from young to junior ranks, she loved watching us and loved being around the game. And as much as it gave her anxiety and stress to watch us in big moments and high pressure situations, we don't think she would want to be anywhere else beside the rink and watching her boys play and my sisters play in sports and everything too. She loved that competitive level. And that was I would say she really enjoyed the game. It gave her, we're so lucky. The game gives you so much, right? I mean,
Yep.
Who's going to respect you back. And we have lifelong friends because of the game, and people that my mom met, my dad met along the way. And so, I think that she embraced it, and she loved everything that hockey gave her.
I'm into the bloodlines because of my time in the summers at the racetrack. You've come out to see us a couple times with your family, and with bloodlines in mind, do you think your daughters are going to take to hockey?
Me and my wife had this conversation going back and forth on the table. I'm like, do we get them in hockey or not? And right now we got them in skating at Braemar Arena. So we're doing a little, we're skating right now, which is the biggest step. So we'll see if anyone takes it. I wouldn't mind seeing if one of them wants to pick up a hockey stick. I don't think I would ever say no to it. But right now, my 2 oldest ones, Olivia and Camila, are doing a pretty good job skating. So right now we're going to be going to the outdoor rinks a lot now with this weather coming our way already with the cold, and we'll see if one of them wants to pursue it. But I'll always support it, and we'll see which one gravitates toward more.
Yeah, baby steps early. I remember those days. It's tough for kids because hockey, unlike other sports, you're going to have to take some lumps early on. Skating in general can be hard. The whole coordination thing when you're little, knowing those bloodlines in mind, I think those Foligno girls could probably take a few hits and keep on going. So let's get to the Foligno face-off, because I really am fascinated by this. The V Foundation is near and dear to my heart. I was a huge fan of the coach, Jimmy Valvano, and that speech that he gave to me is one of the all-time greats. So the V Foundation is partnered up with you and your brother. It's v.org/Foligno Faceoff. And we saw the first matchup back in November. How did your brother feel about the Kirill Kaprizov overtime winner and then having to, put on the Marcus jersey the next day at his Thanksgiving celebration?
Yeah, he was bummed out for sure. I mean, the way that game was going, I mean, it was kind of Chicago was really hemming us in our zone and things like that. But we're an experienced group, and we just kind of kept with it and pushed back when we had to. And lucky for us, we got a great play by Eric Sinek in the overtime with some physicality that led to a penalty, and Kirill ended it from there. And when that puck went in, I had a big sigh of relief. So it was nice to see my brother take the first hit on this Foligno face-off, and we're just honored that the NHLPA came to us and the NHL as well, and just wanted to do something friendly. I don't know how many more years my brother has in this league, and I think a lot of people will seen us play against each other a lot. I know our family has, and this will be a special way of, we raised a lot of funds through cancer along the years of our career, but doing this is a different way of doing it. It's a lot of fun and a little bit of competition, and getting the fans' intake on it with, see what consequences come from each loss or each win. So we got 3 more games to go, so hopefully we sweep them, and I'll be laughing at this whole setup with the face-off. But like you said, the V Foundation is Jimmy Valvano is an amazing person, was an amazing coach, and obviously his bout with cancer, and I've actually just started recognizing some things that they've done last year, getting involved with some things through the league, and it's really is amazing, that foundation and what it stands for and how much money they've raised over the years. So we're honored to be partnering up with them and trying to raise as much funds as we can throughout the season.
That's so cool. Absolutely so cool. I really do encourage our listeners to just head to v.org/Foligno Faceoff just to look at the shirts and all the different ways you can get involved. You've got to make a decision. So for our hockey fans that listen, you got to go Team Marcus, Team Nick. I know we've got some Blackhawk fans that listen, unfortunately, but the bottom line is 100% of these donations are going directly to fight and eventually cure breast cancer. We've all been touched by cancer, and specifically breast cancer. My aunt is a breast cancer survivor. She's in her 70s now. Marty Gellner, who works at our station, does a lot of Timberwolves work and Twins work, is in the process of fighting breast cancer right now. So for our fans out there, this is such a wonderful cause. And then you get involved and you have a chance to win something cool. And everybody that makes a donation is into a drawing for a Hockey Fights Cancer gorgeous jersey autographed by both of the Foligno brothers. Plus, many will win autographed Wild and Hawks pucks with the different logo of each team and the Hockey Fights Cancer stuff. So the bottom line is it's the holiday season. Everybody's looking for a great cause. And to me, if you're a hockey fan, this is as good as it gets. And then, as you mentioned, Marcus, we get to watch these matchups. January 27th, March 17th back in Chicago, then back in St. Paul on March the 19th. And I just think it's fascinating if we can get you and your brother back out there, because I love it. You guys do the picture every time. You guys are both such intense guys once the game starts, but clearly the respect that you guys have earned from your teammates, both captains, both leaders, it makes it that much more special when you guys can be out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, every game we're going to be doing like a ceremonial face-off with a cancer survivor or someone who's going through cancer, which is unbelievable that we can do that, and it makes it so much more special. So we talk about the Cancer Awareness Month. This is the kind of the cancer awareness year for the Blackhawks in the wild. And, like you said, it's so much more than the game. And, but when, the puck drops, Nick and I play like we always do. And let's try to, put our, work ethic on, our work boots on, and just go to town. So, when you have that heavy heart, you play with that heavy heart, you play a little better that game. And, but it's so special for us, having our teammates involved too. I will say the teammates have been outstanding with this whole thing, and supporting it with the t-shirt walk-in last game. And it's been fun. There's been, like you said, everyone's been affected by cancer. Everyone knows someone that's been affected by cancer and is going through it. And, this is something that, everyone hands down is on board for it. It's so great to see. And we hope we keep getting more and more traction and build it up before each game. And, just keep raising funds. Cancer research is so big, and money for research, nothing's free. And it just goes a long way with the grants that can be awarded to doctors to keep doing their research. And, like you said, find a cure one day for cancer and help, end this disease once and for all.
Yeah, I couldn't put it any better. And we're going to continue to pump this up here, not only on the show here on the podcast, but also on some of our wild broadcasts and certainly on our social media platforms. It's a cause that's near and dear to a lot of our hearts. And Marcus, I just love what you and your brother not only mean to the National Hockey League, but mean to cancer research. I think you guys bring so much fandom to it. And I think seeing your brother on that broadcast on the national spotlight on ESPN reminded me of just the impact you two guys have. I know how proud your mom is and will always be of you guys. And I've had a chance to get to know your dad a little bit. Mike was one of my hockey heroes growing up. Still got his hockey cards. I've got to remember to bring those to the rink the next time I know he's going to be in town, because I've got a handful of the Foligno Buffalo cards, and pretty cool, right? To see it come full circle, to work with you now on an everyday basis. It's pretty damn cool. I got to see Mike a couple weeks ago at the rink. He was in town. How special is it for you and Nick when your dad is in town and able to watch? Because I know you mentioned it. You got a big family. There's a lot of different places he needs to be.
Yeah, you know what? Anytime you have your dad come and watch you, and he came to practice, and Kirill Kaprizov's dad was out there too, and it's like a little bit of a mini father's trip just to the rink, and it's always special. I mean, our dad is the reason why we're in hockey, and how much passion we have for it. We always take his advice, his opinion to heart. He's always been our biggest supporter, cheering and humble. He gives us a little bit of humble pie once in a while when we need it, but he's always our biggest critic, but our most positive one too. So anytime he's around and able to come to the rink and watch a game, it just kind of brings you back to your younger days and makes you feel like a kid again, right? You got your dad at the rink. I don't think there's anything better than that. So you always want to do him proud and play hard for him and for definitely the Foligno name. But at the same time, it's so cool being in the league that he was once in, and we try to treasure all the moments that he's going to have watching us, and we know it's more at the end of the road than the beginning. So it's just we as you get older, you kind of take these moments and don't take them for granted, and just enjoy the time that he has. And we all know that he's visiting us more for the grandkids more than the hockey, but it's something so special when you can come to the rink and just be your father and take it all in.
And Marcus, the odds are astronomical that one person gets to the league. Your dad did that and was an awesome player for many, many years. And now, over the years, to see you and your brother Nick get there, you guys were kids. You grew up. There was probably a lot of scraps in the driveway or down at the outdoor rink. Was there a time in your life as a youngster that you realized that maybe the NHL was possible for either one of you, much less both of you? Because, I mean, the odds are stacked against it.
Yeah, you know what? I give a lot of credit to my brother. My brother was the one that kind of opened my eyes to it. I always saw my dad as having a job in hockey, and I wasn't around for his playing days in the sense of remembering them. So I always just just took it when, just that we were this hockey family and people knew who my dad was and thought he was kind of popular and it kind of helped me at school a little bit, but that was as far as it went. And it was really my brother Nick that paved the way. And I saw him leave at a young age to go to USA, the NTDP program. So when that happened, when he had to go to Ann Arbor and move away from the school, I mean, I was 10 at the age when Nick was, 15. I was about 10 and a half and still really young. And I think that's when it was a reality where, oh, this is the route you have to take, or this is a sacrifice you have to take. And we're pretty, Nick's a pretty good player. And just seeing how close it is now to getting to those bigger up, those higher ranks of hockey and being noticed. And, but I mean, always, you're always on your teams, and I'm not saying you're the best player, but you contributed in enough manner where you made some teams and you played well and noticeable out there. I think that's when you notice that you got something. And but for me, it was seeing my brother, kind of pave the way for myself and seeing the sacrifice he put in at a young age to understand that the NHL isn't too far away when you get to that age of 15, 16. And so I owe a lot to Nick and the way he opened up my eyes to it.
All right, just a couple more. We're going to let you go pick up those kids at school. I got to ask you this. So if you're on the list of maybe being banged up, or maybe it's summertime, you're not at the rink, you've got time to prepare a meal, but you want to make something that the kids and your wife are going to enjoy. What does the Moose throw together in that kitchen?
Oh, geez. My wife wouldn't let me in there, that's for sure. But I don't know. I'm really pretty easy with spaghetti, pasta, some sort of that, like tomato sauce right away, a little pasta. I'll do chicken cutlets, no problem. I know how to throw them in the egg, marinate them with the breadcrumbs. I'm pretty good with that stuff. So, probably a chicken cutlet spaghetti is probably the thing that I would probably do for a nice dinner. Now, if you're talking about summertime, we do have a wood oven pizza, so we do some pizza. Yeah, that's my go-to this summer. This summer I got it dialed in pretty good. I was actually pretty happy with my chef skills this summer. It's to me it's like the experience. So you don't just come for the food; you come for the whole process of making pizza in the wood oven. So that's always been a blast and something that we always have fun with in the summertime.
And my final question, since you've had a little downtime and the Wild aren't on every single night, including last night where I was bored out of my mind, have you found a cool show or a movie that's caught your eye lately that maybe some of our listeners should dive into?
Yeah, I'm big right now. I mean, it's back on season 2, episode by episode, which I always like a little bit of binge watching. But it's Landman that I'm into right now.
Oh,
and
I've heard it's fantastic.
Obsessed with it right now. It is. It's good. It just there's another oil life is a crazy business, and the guy who kind of made Yellowstone in 1883, I think it was 1923. It's him that directs and produces it. So good show. And then I mean, I know some guys. I think Vinny Hinestroza and I were both on the IR, so we're in the weight room, and he was telling me about this terminal list. So I'm thinking we're going to start that pretty soon. This terminal list, it's called. So, but right now, Landman's the one I'm watching right now.
I love that tout. I bumped into a show called Absentia last night on Netflix. It's got a kind of a Silence of the Lambs feel to it, kind of a serial killer FBI thing. I'm telling you, it was one of those nights where you come back from the West Coast and your whole body clock is off.
Yeah.
So I started watching the show at 9, thinking I'd watch like an episode or two. All of a sudden I look at the clock and it's 2 a.m. I'm like, okay, I've got to stop, because they get you, right? There's always a cliffhanger at the end. And I'm like, damn it, I got to watch one more. And I kept watching one more. Absentee is the name of it. Give it a look. Get back to good health. We're going to pump up this Foligno face-off. And I really, Marcus, I've always appreciated the time you take. And I think our viewers that watch the games know this. You don't just give an interview, you have a conversation. And some players like to do the pucks in deep and they get nervous and, they get, to the point, but it's like you do the interview and like you really, you can feel the passion and we get a little bit of the insight to what you're going through in that game. And I've always appreciated that. And it comes out in a show like this. So thanks for doing what you do, man. You are growing the game. And I think you're just an asset to this organization on and off the ice.
Well, thank you, but it's credit to you too. You're easy to talk to, and you're real, and you're not giving the cliche answers either, the questions, anyways. So I always do mention a little bit of pucks and deep from time to time, but it's always good talking to the K train. So anytime, bud.
All right, Moose. Well, get back to good health, and obviously
you.
go get those girls. I know the roads are snowy right now. Be safe out there, and I'll see you at the rink very soon.
Thanks, K Train. Appreciate it.
There he goes, Marcus Foligno, right here on Wooden Sticks. I'm back after a short break to put a close on this edition of the show. All right, we're back to put a close on the show. And you know what? It's always such a great time connecting with the Moose. I think you could hear that in our conversation. He's just one of the really special guys behind the scenes. He takes care of this team, takes care of all of us in the media. Not many better. And you know what? It's hard, right? I'm in the process of my dad is dealing with a really tough bout with dementia. I'm watching his life kind of go the wrong way here the last couple of years. I haven't lost a parent, but my significant other did last year, and I know that type of pain. And even though Marcus and Nick lost their mom 16 years ago, I don't think the pain's any different now. And so for Marcus to have the compassion and confidence to come on these shows and to go on these broadcasts and pump this up tells you that it's all about paying it forward. And in honor of his mom, helping somebody down the road maybe avoid that tragedy. And that's what this Foligno Face-Off is all about. We've all been touched by this disease. So head to v.org/Foligno Face-Off. Pick your guy, make your contribution, win a prize. Most importantly, all those donations, 100% directly to fund research and eventually a cure for breast cancer. So God bless the Foligno family, and God bless all of you that could help out. And I know it's the holidays and money's tight. I get all of that. I live all of that. But if you have anything extra and you can make a donation, I think it all adds up and it all counts. And this is such a terrific place to put not only energy, but if you've got some extra funds, that too. So I really appreciate you guys indulging, and we'll get on to the hockey part of the equation here to close the show. John Hines gave us an update today via the Paul Allen radio show here on KFan locally in the Twin Cities that Matt Zuccarello stayed overnight and indeed did travel back a day late from Seattle and likely will miss some time here with that concussion. And I think the coach put it best, saying that it's just good to see that he's feeling a little bit better. And now the protocol is in play, which is for the safety of these players. And thank goodness it's there. I played in an era where it wasn't. And I can tell you, as I get a little closer to 60, I'm starting to deal with some things directly from the handful of concussions I went through. And so let's make sure that whether it's Middleton, whether it's Zuccarello, whoever else is dealing with these head injuries gets right and they can get back and play when the doctors say they're good and ready. And whenever that is, they'll be welcomed back. But until then, good health to both of them. Big challenge for Minnesota coming. It's great to be home. They're going to play 3 games in 4 nights, all in St. Paul, 7 of the next 8 on home ice. All that's good news. But when you take out Hinostroza, Foligno, Rossi, Zuccarello, Middleton, as I mentioned, is a question mark. And here come the Dallas Stars, a team that has 1 loss in their last 17 games in regulation. It's going to be a heck of a challenge. You know you're going to get one of the best goalies on the planet. Former Lakeville North Panther Jake Ottinger will get the start for Dallas. They played DeSmith, their backup, last night as we record here on middle of the week on a Wednesday. So we're going to get the Otter. No big surprise there. Hometown kid. He always seems to play well in this building in St. Paul. So, yeah, big challenge for Minnesota. But, again, when you got Boldy and Kaprizov out there, you got a shot. Bottom line, these are 2 budding superstars that'll find a way to create some offense. I'll be super curious to see who takes Zuccarello's spot, if it is indeed still Kaprizov with Yurov. And good on Yurov going in there to jump in to protect Zuccarello, at least respond to the hit. It wasn't a dirty hit. John Hines talked about it. It was a hockey play. I don't think Dunn was trying to hurt anybody, but it was a perfect storm. It was a really solid hit. And then not only did Zuccarello take the brunt of the first part of the hit, but then he hit his head on the ice face first. So that was the real problem, in my opinion. So great to see Yurov and the guys just come flying in. Zuccarello is such a beloved member of this hockey team. And certainly that drew the ire of the Wild. And you could see that the passion and intensity in their game seemed to ramp up, and they did it the right way. They didn't take a bunch of dumb penalties and run around like a bunch of donkeys. They won a hockey game. They played intense, physical, and smart hockey, and so good on them for that as well. And now they're in a good position. They're in third. The division is a monster division. The top two teams in the league are Colorado and Dallas, and Minnesota's the next best team in this division, and they're in the top 5 right now in the points for the entire league. So Dallas comes in for a matchup on Thursday, and then over the weekend you get Ottawa and Boston. Neither one of those games will be a picnic, but going to be a lot of fun for us hockey fans to take it in. I love afternoon hockey, especially on a Saturday. That 1 o'clock tilt with Ottawa going to be great. And it does feel like the Wild are getting the type of contributions up and down the lineup right now where they can withstand some of these injuries. And I still believe if you've got a bulk of your blue line healthy and you've got a line with Boldy and a line with Kaprizov, these guys can beat anybody. And the other thing that I know for sure is Minnesota always seems to rise to the occasion when they face off against the big dogs. We've seen it already this year. Wins against teams like Vegas and Colorado. I mean, these are big-time efforts against big-time teams. When the Wild beat Colorado into the stretch of almost a month of perfect hockey for the Avalanche. So we've seen them rise up before, and maybe they can rise up again here this week when Dallas comes calling on Thursday and beyond into the weekend. I would love your input on maybe some guests on the show. You can find me on social media, Twitter or X, whatever the bill of fare is in your mind. We know one thing, it's at Gorgomatic21, at Gorgomatic21 for any touts there. And if you've got somebody here at the holidays that's like, hey, I got to get my business going, I got to get this cooking, I'm in the insurance business, I need something cooking here, this is the place to do it. Hockey fans take care of their own. You can ping me at Gorgomatic21 if you want to be a sponsor or partner here on the show, like Minnesota Masonic Charities, like Onyx Fish and Maps, like the StretchLabs and Lexus already are. We will elevate your business because the hockey world is a tight community, and it's a community that takes care of their own. So get involved if you can, or if you've got somebody in mind, send them my way. I'd love to hook them up and pump it up around here. And finally, as we leave you, one more time, v.org/Foligno Faceoff. Help everybody fight breast cancer, but help Team Marcus take down Team Nick. We need the Wild fans to outdo the Blackhawk fans on all levels. Get that Team Marcus t-shirt. Maybe you'll win that special prize, the Hockey Fights Cancer purple jersey autographed by both of the Foligno brothers. That would be the keepsake of a lifetime, to say the least. All right, this is Kevin Gorg. You found us here at Wooden Sticks. I'll be back next week with more great hockey conversations. Thanks for listening.